Hey guys, it's Mrs. Moylan, and we are going to go over the semester exam together. So get your pencils ready and let's get going. Starting with number 1, Jason measured the temperature. It was less than negative 3.5 and greater than negative 3.8, which could be the temperature. So I drew a number line, and I want to put my numbers on the number line to see which one is in between. Negative 3.05 would be closer to 0. Negative 3.62 would be in between. Negative 3.85 would be less than negative 3.8. And negative 3.08 would be closer to 0. So the number that falls in between the two would be letter B, negative 3.62. Number 2, on the hike down a mountain, Erica descended at a rate of 36 feet each hour. What is her change in elevation after 3 hours? So she is descending, meaning she's going down, and she's going 36 feet in 1 hour, but then she goes for 3 hours. So that would be 36 times 3. 6 times 3 is 18. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. But since she's going down, she's going D, negative 108 feet. Number 3. Carmen ran 5.5 miles on the track. Each lap around the track is 1/4 of a mile. How many laps did Carmen run? So this is just like that was on your study guide. Lap 1 would be 1/4. Lap 2 would be 2/4, which actually we know equals 1/2. Lap 3 would be 3/4, and then lap 4 would be 1/2. So you could count it that way until you got to 5.5. You could also take 5.5 and change it into an improper fraction. So that would be 11/2. Well, that's not 11/4, that's 11/2. So if I have 1/4 and I want it to equal 11/2, what would I have to do? Well, I would have to look and see, well, what's my common denominator here? I would have to change this into fourths. So this would be times 2, giving me 22/4, so it's 22 laps, letter D. Number 4, Julio played a game with 4 friends. Julio scored the most points. The table shows the differences in scores between each friend and Julio, which orders the friends by how many points they scored from greatest to least. So the person that scored the greatest amount would be Tatiana, so she would come first. I could use my choices and say then I can eliminate C and I can eliminate A. The next person will be Albert. He would be second, so then I can eliminate B. Continuing to check, Monica would be third and Bianca would be fourth, so letter D would be your correct answer. Number 5, which statement does not represent an expression? An expression does not have an equal sign. So letter B is the only one that is an equation, making it not an expression. Number 6, you would want to obviously read through that, and then it wanted you to solve the equation by using PEMDAS. So you would start with the parentheses, 3 plus 2 is 5, rewriting the rest of your equation so that you're only doing one step at a time. Multiplication and division is from left to right, so 120 divided by 5, if you don't know it, you just got to go off to the side. 5 goes into 1, 0. 5 goes into 12 twice. 2 times 5 is 10. 2, bring down, 4. So that would be 24. Rewrite the rest of your equation. Again, multiplication and division is from left to right. 24 divided by 12 is 2. And then your final step would be 2 times 10 is 20. So letter A would be the correct answer. Number 7, Mrs. Bradford divides 6 muffins equally among 5 students. Which expression represents the amount that each student gets? 6 divided by 5, letter A. Number 8, Rachel buys 4 tickets for a play. Each ticket costs $14.85. How much does she pay for all 4 tickets? So each ticket is $14.85 times 4 tickets. 5 times 4 is 20. 8 times 4 is 32 plus 2. 4 times 4 is 16 plus 3. And 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So $59.40, letter B. Number 9, Kelsey scored a total of 188 points on 4 levels of a video game. If she scored the same number of points on each level, which equation could be used to find P, the number of points scored on each level? So she scored a total of 88, and we see that all of them equal 88. And we are looking for the number of points scored on each level. So 4 times the number of points would equal 188. Number 10, Blake records the expression below, x times 5. Which of the following uses the commutative property to represent an equivalent expression? And we remember that the commutative property is just flipping. So instead of x times 5, we have 5 times x. Number 11, which situation is best represented by the integer -7? So you're looking for a clue word that it's something that's decreasing or going down. Charlotte went down 7 floors. That sounds right, but we'll check the rest. 7 times? No. Buys 7, that means she would gain 7. Shares her magazine evenly among, nope, that means division. So letter A it is. Number 12, a coordinate plane is used to map Daphne's home and other locations. Daphne's home is at -3, +2. So on the x, I would go over to -3 and +2. And I see on choice A, that's the grocery store, not Daphne's home. On choice B, I go over to -3 and up to +2. Again, that's the grocery store. On letter C, I go over to -3 and up to +2. So Daphne's house is in the correct spot there. On letter D, it's also in the correct spot. Her school is located at +3, +4. So over to +3 and up to +4. This is where the school should be. It is not correct on C. On letter D, over to +3 and up to +4. That is the school. I check the rest, and D is the correct answer. Number 13, what is the value of the expression below? Again, using PEMDAS. 13 minus 10, because it's in parentheses, is your first step. Rewrite the rest of your equation. Exponents next. 2 squared is 4. Rewrite the rest of your equation. Multiplication next. And then your final step would be addition. 27. So B is the correct answer. Number 14, Joey and his friends earned $130. Joey and his 3 friends, so Joey is included in the total, earned $130 at the garage sale. They agreed to split the profits. How much money did each friend earn? So you have $130 divided by 4 people. 4 goes into 1, 0 times. 4 goes into 13, 3 times. Subtract and bring down. 4 goes into 10, 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. You would need to add a decimal and a 0 to bring it down. 4 goes into 20 5 times. So they would spend a total of $32.50. Number 15, which expression is equivalent to 5 divided by 2/3? When dividing fractions, we keep, change, flip. So if I look at my choices, 5 times 3/2, letter B. Number 16, which shows the prime factorization of 192. I see that it ends in 2, so I know it's an even number, so I can divide it by 2. 2 goes into 19, 9 times. 9 times 2 is 18. Subtract and bring down. 2 goes into 12, 6 times. So 2 times 96. 2 is prime. 96 is not. I see that 96 is an even number, so I can divide that by 2. 2 goes into 9, 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract and bring down. 2 times 48. 2 is prime. 48 is not. I know that 6 times 8 equals 48. And I know that 3 times 2 equals 6. And I know that 2 times 4 equals 8. Then I break my 4 down into 2 times 2. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2's and 1 3. Letter D is the correct choice. Number 17, you have to find a common denominator. So I found 40. 8 times 5, so 7 times 5 is 35. 5 times 8, so 3 times 8 is 24. 2 times 20, so 1 times 20 is 20. And 4 times 10, so 3 times 10 is 30. And then you're just looking at your numerators to put them in order. And we want to go from greatest to least. So the biggest number is 35. 7/8 will be the beginning. The next biggest is 30. So 3/4 will be next. Next comes 24, so 3/5. And finally 20, so 1/2. So letter B is a correct choice. Number 18. When Bonnie left Dallas, Texas, it was 77 degrees. When she arrived in Anchorage, the temperature was -3. What was the difference in temperature? So on a number line or on a thermometer, you have to count. This is 77 degrees to get to 0 and 3 degrees to get to -3. So 77 plus 3 is 80. And since it's a difference of going down, -80. Number 19, which of the following expressions is equivalent to -8? So you have to solve them all. 32 divided by 4 is 8, and they are both the same sign, so that's a positive answer. You have to add the opposite on subtraction. 11 minus 3 is 8. That's still a positive answer. 2 times -4 would equal -8, and -4 minus 6 would equal -8. So 3 and 4 both equal -8. Number 20, which equation represents the absolute value of -2? -2 must be included inside the bars, so it's definitely not B or D. And then absolute value is always positive, so the correct answer is C. 21, Meredith deposits $150 into her bank account. With the deposit, she now has over $500. Which of the following could be used to find X, the original balance before the deposit was made? So she's got X amount of money. She deposits, so she's adding $150, and it's going to be over 500, not equal to it. So letter D is the correct choice. 22. Nicole charges $9 per hour for her babysitting. She babysits to earn money for a class trip. She needs to earn more than $135 for the trip. Which solution best represents the number of hours she needs to do? So she needs to do 15 hours or more than that. So letter A it is. Number 23. The table shows the cost for students' admissions. And we're trying to figure out which one is dependent. The number of tickets would be independent. The cost would be dependent. So if we look at our choices, T is dependent. That's not correct. C is independent. That's not correct. T is independent. That is correct. And C is dependent. That is correct. So 3 and 4, letter D, would be the correct choice. 24, you had to solve this expression, starting with parentheses. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Rewrite the rest of your problem. Next would come exponents. 3 squared is 9. Rewrite the rest of your problem. Next comes multiplication. 5 times 9 is 45, plus 6. And finally, addition, 51. Number 25. The model represents the equation 2x minus 1 equals -5. In order to solve this, I would need to add 1 to both sides, giving me 2x equals -4. Then I would divide by 2, giving me x equals -2. So letter B. And the final question, which of the following sets would belong to the integers? And remember, integers are only whole numbers, both positive and negative. So letter C.